Good YouTube, Quinn Wade coming to y'all with that analysis on free agency. We're going to talk about Steph Curry getting his extension, but like I usually do, I talk about other things that happened. The Grizzlies waived Mohamedi Daiki. He ended up getting waived. They ended up getting him in that trade that happened earlier this summer, and they just chose to go without him. It'd be interesting to see him get picked up by another team as we enter training camp in a couple more weeks. I also will say that they took a flyer, which is the Boston Celtics, on Lonnie Walker. He's a great player. We know that he can score. We know that he can handle the ball. We know what he's capable of. He's able to get you double figures. He just didn't, become that star that a lot of people thought that he can become when he comes to being able to be that high level player. But he did have a decent NBA career. He has put up numbers, and he is a guy that you're going to respect. And I can see him trying out for the Celtics and him liking what he brings to the table. And that's why they gave him an Exhibit 10 deal. But it is a partially guaranteed contract to where they have so much flexibility to let him go if anything goes their way or anything that goes against what they're trying to do. They can easily let him go and go with somebody else. It's just good to have that type of flexibility, especially coming off a championship, which the Celtics have, and having the ability to pick up a guy of this caliber late in free agency is really good to see. But they also don't want to tie themselves to a guy that they don't really need as much, as they have a bunch of wings and a bunch of guards already on their roster, so they don't want to overcommit to that. But adding another scorer that can get you double figures by himself, or he can play off the ball and be a cutter, I think that that would be the best way to utilize him, honestly and truthfully. And we look at Stephen Curry and the Warriors as a team that been very publicized and very talked about the last couple months in the NBA, as they've been tied to Paul George and they've been tied to Laurie Marketing. But we look at it like he signed a 1 year, $62.6 million extension. I think that that will cover him for 26, 27 season. Plus, he got 2 more years before he can become a free agent. Now he has 3 more years. Curry had a $115 million deal remaining with 2 seasons already on his contract before he added this extra year to it, showing that he's still committed to the vision of what the Warriors are still trying to do with him, and still showing you that if you can put the talent around your star, they will see that you're trying and you're motivated to get them to win it. But the Warriors do have more assets than they had in the past, and now I think this team is filling out their roster with cutters, shooters, scorers, and guys that can play roles. They already have Andrew Wiggins, they already have Steph Curry, and they have guys that specifically fit a need on this roster. But I do think Steph is going to have to play like really crazy for this team to be considered something that is a threat in the Western Conference, as it's very top heavy, and it's a lot of teams that they really have to show that they can compete against to be able to be a playoff team this season. Like, you go into looking at these rosters and you say, is they even the top 18 in the Western Conference? And I think that that's debatable. But if you get in the playing situation, having Steph Curry does help, even though they done lost a couple. But his confidence been through the roof. He's very in shape. He's very bulky now. He's very strong, and he's just playing at another level confidence wise. So I wouldn't bet against Steph Curry. A lot of people thought they was done when Clay went down. Then they was able to get him back healthy, and they instantly won the next year. And I think that they have a lot of key players on this roster, to where if you want to build around Steph, you know that it works based off 22. Now you got to give him the defenders. Now you got to give him guys that can create their own shot a little bit. And now he has to up his facilitation game, just because if he's going to score 25 to 30 points, he got to keep guys involved, because that's what you have to do as a franchise guy. They play with you and they play around you, and he has to make his teammates better. I'm not saying it like he never did it before, but that should be his goal, is to be an assist leader. He should be trying to find a way to get 25 to 30 plus, and still trying to find a way to get these cutters, these slashers, transition game, and not just coming out just to score a bunch of points. He needs to evolve as a player again. And we done seen Steph Curry do it, averaging 9 assists before, so we know he's capable capable of being a playmaker. We know that he's capable of, getting his teammates the shots that they need to be great, because this team is going to go based on how far Steph Curry can carry them and how far he can take them offensively, because none of these guys are really known as defensive aces, but a couple guys on his team. And he's going to really have to, use his offensive powers to make it easier for them defensively, because the less you miss and the less opportunities you give your opponent in transition or in general giving them the ball based off misses, that just helps you stay in control of the game, and that just gives a team that's older, when they look at their stars, a better chance of winning. And that's something that we always seen in the playoffs. The game is more slower. The game is more, uglier when it comes to possessions, because people care more because what's at stake. And the play-in tournament is no different. And we done seen them take it personally, just because you don't have a chance to compete for a championship if you're not in the playoffs. So I like the fact that the Warriors gave him the best offer that they can give him, the best offer any team in the NBA could give him, which is a $62 million. He's a guy that's worth that money. He's the guy that can play at that level, and we done seen it. He's getting older. He's gonna be in a situation where he might get some damage, because he's gonna play a lot of minutes and he's gonna get a lot of opportunities. And usually that comes with you getting a little beat up and a little tore up, injury wise, because of the contact that the sport has in it, and the fact that it's going to be a physical game and you're not going to have as much time to heal and stuff, especially because Steph Curry is older. But he has to keep that in the back of his head, that he has to be smarter. But in 74 games last season, Steph Curry averaged 26 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists in 32 minutes. They're going to need him to do a little bit more if they want to win with this team and put them in a better position to be great as a unit. And I feel like that makes a lot of sense, for the logic of what Steph needs to become for this team to be great. And he's still showing you he's committed to winning, he's committed to loyalty, and you want him to go down as the greatest Warrior ever, which he already is. But the contract shows you that they don't want him going to no other team, and this is the guy we're going to ride until the ship goes all the way down, which eventually it has to. And then it's just about passing the torch to the next guy that can lead the team to another championship, or keep the team afloat popularity wise, like they was doing before. And then they was able to put together a competitive team. TJ McConnell, Pacers agree to a 4-year, $45 million extension. I think that it was great to bring him back. He was a guy that really understood how to run the offense. He was a guy that really understood how to score, how to pick his spots, not to get in the way. He was a guy that understood how to play with the bigs and play with the wings that they have on this team. And he just has been a solid role player that understands his game and how to mesh it well with other players on the roster, no matter where he goes. And he's a very, very smart player, and he has been fun to watch. But he's not going to get a crazy amount of money. He's not going to get a crazy role, especially because they already have Andrew Neibhart, who has become a great player too already, and he looks like he's in line for a step up in his game already. But you look at the depth of this team, already having Tyrese and Pascal as the all-stars, and Andrew and Obi Toppin and all them other guys on long-term deals already. The Pacers are going in a direction to where you can be excited if you're a Pacers fan with the talent they was able to amass the last 3 years. And they have been really trying to build this team with guys that likes to run and control possessions, and they very are pesky and very sneaky with how they like to play defense. And to get to a conference finals this early in Indiana, when guys are not at their apex or at their greatest, and they still able to compete even with the Celtics. All those games was close and nail biters, but the better team came out and won. But I think those series are going to get a little bit better in the future as the team is more prepared and they're ready. And Rick Carlisle is already a championship coach with the Dallas Mavericks. It makes perfect sense why we have to respect the Pacers and what they've been able to do. And keeping their nucleus together is important and essential to them being a great team, especially when it builds chemistry and it's winning chemistry that they're building and now they have a guy like TJ that they want to keep too because he understands what he needs to do. And then Ivica Zubac and the Clippers signed a 3-year, 58 million extension. The deal ties Zubac to the Clippers for 70 million total because it gives him to the 27-28 season to where he can become a free agent. I think bringing him back, he's a role player that understands how to set screens, how to pass the ball, how to rebound the ball, how to finish when he needs to. He's a solid free throw shooter as a big man. He's young, he's a bruiser, and he understands the game that needs to be played for him to be successful. And it's nothing you can really say negative about Zubac, but you just wish he protect the rim better. Other than that, there's nothing that I can complain about. This is another solid deal, giving one of your guys that have been very productive in the NBA another chance to use his youth to help make your team better. And this is a team that was getting older and they was going with a lot of guys that had established themselves, and now they have a team that's going to be great offensively for the most part, and he's going to be their anchor defensively. And I don't think that's a good or a bad thing, but I just feel like he knows how to do the job. He has the most respect here. He knows how to win with this team, as they've been a playoff team for the most part since he's been there. And, this is a place that shows appreciation and respect for him as they continue to build around him and continue to keep him as they start in center. So I don't have a problem with this deal. It's not too much money. It's not too much for a player like Zubac, and he's always going to be tradable because of his youth and because of his rebound and because of his low maintenance style of play. I think that those things are going to be important for a guy like Zubac down the road. This is what's working already. Keep working with the Clippers. It keeps you in the NBA. It keeps you on one of the better teams, and it keeps you in a mentality where I can do this on every single team that I can go to, even in the future once one of these contracts are up. But it's good that a team believes in you and a team is confident with you, and I think that that's very important for a guy like Zubac. And he understands that, and he took this deal as fast as he could, and I think that he deserves it at the end of the day. Other than that, comment, like, subscribe, and share. Hit the notification bell for more analysis. I got videos just like this on the channel, plus breakdowns and tributes to the legends and the current legends and the future legends on my channel. And if you like this type of content, subscribe. And if you already been a part of this channel and you love NBA content and you need something to do in your free time, this is the perfect channel for you, because I upload basically on a daily basis with all different type of content and never really redundant or repetitive with the content to the most part. So you always got something new to watch and always got something to be excited for. And other than that, I feel like I have done what I needed to do, said what I had to say. So I'll see you guys later.